We're back with another episode of the QC Step Podcast. If you're looking for a job, I'll go through the list of current job leads. I'll play a video that will tell you how this teenager got a job because he was so determined to get one. And I'll tell you about a conference for STEP students that our program is doing. It's the week of September 24th, and this is the QC Step Podcast. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the QC Step Podcast. My name is Corey Finneran, and I'm a transition specialist with the STEP program. Last week's episode was the first episode of the 2013-14 school year, and if you missed that episode, you can go back and watch or listen on our site, qcstep.com. On that episode, I talked about how you can connect with us through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also on last week's episode, Gary Maiden told us what he would like the students he works with to take away from their experience with the STEP program. And Carrie Stewart introduced herself to you and told you how you can contact her if you need help with applications or preparing for interviews. Speaking of applications, let's take a look at this week's job leads. I post these job leads at qcstep.com every Monday morning, and you can find these leads under the right underneath this podcast post, and the title of the job leads post is Job Leads September 23rd, 2013. Most of the job leads this week have links to the online applications, and the ones that don't, I will tell you how to apply for the position here on the podcast. Typically, I don't list many fast food job leads on the podcast, and the reason is that fast food businesses have a very high turnover, and most fast food businesses are hiring pretty much all the time. However, there are quite a few McDonald's hiring this week, and so I wanted to let you know about all of them. The following McDonald's are hiring for the crew position, which is the entry-level position. In Moline, the Avenue of the Cities location, the airport location, and the one by Nova 6, that's on 36th Avenue. In Rock Island, the one on 30th Street, East Moline, Milan, and Aledo. There are 4 Hy-Vee stores that are hiring. The Moline store on Avenue of the Cities, they're looking for a produce clerk. The Moline store on John Deere Road is looking for a courtesy clerk. The Rock Island store is looking for a courtesy clerk. And the Silva store is looking for a kitchen clerk. There are other businesses that are filling positions that high school students would be able to work. The first is Total Detailing Auto Spa, and that's in Bettendorf, and they're looking for a wash attendant. And you can apply in person at 3245 Utica Ridge Road in Bettendorf. Target in Davenport is hiring seasonal positions. Lowe's in Davenport, they're hiring a cashier. You have to be 18 for that position. And Burlington Coat Factory in Bettendorf, they're looking for seasonal cashiers. We do have a few job leads for our graduates. The Party City in Davenport, they're looking for a receiver, so that's working in the back room. Best Buy in Moline is looking for a sales support associate. Hy-Vee in Moline is looking for a night stalker. In Augustana College, they're looking for cooks and prep cooks, and you can apply by sending your resume to humanresources@augustana.edu. And for assistance with that resume, you can call our office, 309-796-2500, and you can ask for Dawn, Cindy, or me, Corey. If you're watching this and you have a job and your work is hiring, you can let us know by submitting the job lead on the job lead form on qcstep.com. If you would like help filling out applications, either for these job leads or any other, you can message us on Facebook, you can tweet at us, or you can email info@qcstep.com, and that will come to me, and I'll pass that on to Gary or Carrie, depending on which school you go to. Here in a few minutes, I'll show you a video that should inspire you and show you how a desire and a determination to work will lead to success in life. Before I get to that, I wanted to let you know about a conference that our program is putting on for our students that are DRS certified or DOOR certified and ready for competitive employment. If you're unsure if you are DRS certified, you can ask your STEP teacher, your co-op teacher, or your case manager. If Gary and Carrie meet with you, then you're DRS certified. The Day of Transition 2013 is a one-day conference for students that I just described, and it's on November 5th at Augustana College in Rock Island. And this conference lasts the entire school day, and there will be parts of the day where everyone will be in one room and listening to a speaker, and there will be parts of the day where there are multiple sessions going on at once. And once you register for the conference, you'll have the opportunity to choose which sessions you would like to go to. We're in the process of putting the sessions and the schedules together, but the tentative sessions are on topics like turning your training into competitive employment, preparing yourself for an interview, and we have representatives from local community colleges that are going to talk about the different certification programs that their schools have. And I will probably do a session on using social networking to help you get a job and what you need to do to keep social networking from hurting you from getting a job. And the session that I'm probably most excited about is one of our current STEP students that has been very successful in finding employment. He works multiple jobs, and he's going to tell you what has worked for him, and then you will be able to use some of the suggestions that he gives you when you're applying for interviews or applying or interviewing for positions. We don't have all of the details ironed out yet, but you can register for this conference right now. If you're interested, speak with your STEP teacher, your co-op teacher, or Gary or Carrie. This is just a reminder, you must be DRS certified to attend this conference. If you'd like to register, you can go to qcstep.com, click on the register right above the little flyer for the Day of Transition, and that will take you to this page. If you're a student, change the quantity to 1 and click on the blue button. Fill in your email address, your first name and your last name, click on Pick Up at Gate, and then click on Complete Registration. Teachers, we will need you to register too since we're providing lunch. You will just register as a teacher rather than a student. Once you register and we get our sessions and our schedules set, you will have the opportunity to sign up for the specific sessions that you would like to attend. If you have any questions about the Day of Transition 2013 conference, you can email me info@qcstep.com. Now, I saw this news story on YouTube and I thought that I would share it with you. This story is about a teenager that was offered a job because he showed an amazing desire to work. And the funny thing is, the job that he was offered wasn't even the business that he was interviewing with.
The story of a young Indianapolis man has gone viral on Facebook.
Yeah, this is a story of dedication, sympathy, and a work ethic that is rare to find these days. The main characters, an unemployed teen and a business owner who saw his potential. 24-hour News 8's Brooke Martin captured the story as it unfolded.
Good evening, Karen and Eric. It was on Facebook that Papa Roux's owner, Art Bouvier, posted a short story about someone he came across this morning. 10 hours later, it has 7,000 likes and almost 2,000 shares.
2 fish and that's it. Just let me know when the fish are almost done.
Papa Roux serves some of the best Cajun cuisine Indy has to offer. But early Friday morning, owner Art Bouvier was serving ice melt to his frozen parking lot when a young man walked up asking how far to 10th and Sherman.
I'm thinking we're at 10th and Post. I said, boy, that's probably 6-7 miles. I said, you'd be better off on a bus, especially in this weather. And he just said, okay, thank you, and he kept going.
15 minutes later, Art was driving when in the freezing temperatures, there he was, still walking.
And I called to him, I said, buddy, you really do need to be on a bus to go down to 10th and Sherman today. He says, well, I don't have any money for the bus. I said, well, come on, we're headed that way.
His name was Jaquil. He was unemployed, lost his mom 2 years ago, and had to take care of his 2 siblings. He was on his way to a minimum wage job interview at a thrift store, a 10-mile walk in the snow and ice.
You hear too many stories about people that want work, but it's got to be the right work. It's got to be glamorous work. It's got to be high-paying work, holding up for the management job. And then, here's a kid that knows there's work available, and it's hard to get, and it's hard to do, but he'll do it.
Hang on a second.
Art got Jaquil's phone number and, unknown to Jaquil, was planning to do this.
I don't think I can afford to pass you up, man.
Well, I could sure use it, sir.
A job much closer. Could he start tonight?
He told me about it. I was just so surprised. I was awestruck.
2 men now bonded. One who took the road less traveled. The other who's offering to make it easier.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate the trudging through the snow. So now you trudge here.
Jaquil's new job at Papa Ru's will be much closer for him, but he won't even have to worry about walking there. There have been hundreds of comments on Facebook since this story was posted, many of them saying they're going to buy bus tickets, drop them off at Papa Ru's for Jaquil. Back to you in the studio.
Boy, that is an incredible
what a
story. Absolutely wonderful.
I think there's a few things to take away from this video. And I'm not telling you that you should walk 10 miles in the snow and ice to apply or interview for a job, but you can show that same effort in everyday situations by doing things like applying for a job, filling out the job application neatly and thoroughly, dressing appropriately when you pick up and turn in the application, following up with an employer after you turn in the application, and preparing yourself for the interview and the questions that you will be asked, and dressing appropriately for the interview. Those things will show that same desire to work that Jaquil showed. I think that another thing to take away from this news story is that you constantly have the opportunity to network and show your work ethic. Jaquil showed his work ethic to Art Bouvier just by asking for directions. Anytime you're in stores or really anywhere in public, you're showing potential employers what kind of a person you are. And keep that in mind when you're in public. You never know when you have the opportunity to impress someone that could make your life better. Well, that does it for this week's episode. Already here in the first few episodes, I've given you job leads for businesses that are hiring seasonal positions. And on next week's episode, I plan to talk with you about what these positions are and why you should apply for them. Thank you for watching or listening, and I'll be back next week with another episode of the QC Step Podcast.